Welcome to Wellness is the New Cool, brought to you by Broco TV Productions. Join us on this transformative journey as we delve into the realms of mindset, self-reflection, growth, and transparency. Each conversation tailored to promote personal development and living in our authentic truth. Get ready to embrace a new level of coolness of your well-being. Enjoy the show. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. We all we got.
Bro Kurt, what's happening, man?
It's good, man.
Oh, man, another day, man. We are rocking and rolling in another location. As you know, that is what makes us different, brother. You know, you never know where we'll be. You know, for those audience and those that are listening and watching now, we wanted just to take the opportunity to have a candid conversation with my brother. One, we do this periodically so you can learn a little bit more about who we are as men, you know, our why. And some of the background things that y'all don't get a chance to see and hear about because we make it look so dope, right? So anyway, I am Bro Troy. I'm 1/3 of the Bro Code. Today I will be having a conversation and interviewing my brother, friend, and fellow change agent, Bro Kurt. So how you feeling, man?
Man, great. The way you put that makes me realize like how many moves like we've been making, and you get caught up in it. Mm-hmm. And we don't ever get to really, behind the scenes we talk all the time.
Sure.
But we don't really talk about our stories and what's going on in our lives.
So true, man. So true. Yeah. And just given the opportunity to be thankful, right? Celebrate progress,
man.
Right?
Let's talk about that.
And be present. And I can honestly say, as a fellow change agent and someone that I love and admire the work that you do, that adds value. You add value to my life in that space. As a goer, as a doer, as a visionary, and as someone that is very forward thinking, it's very easy for me to look over some of the wins. It's very easy to look over, wow, man, did you just, you know, we didn't even think about that a month ago, and really be present. That's my point, being present. And you've challenged me in that space, and I thank you for that, man. So presence, like, what does that mean to you? Like, when you think of that word, what comes to mind?
For me, presence means clarity. Literally like slowing down. As you stated, we have so many moving parts in our life right now. And how do I be where my feet are, right? Even though I may have 15 other things going on in my life right now, I'm right now talking to you. And I've been working on that, Troy. And that's probably one of the hardest mountains I've had to climb, is to be present with wherever I am. The best part about that is I want you to feel like you're the only person on the planet right now, because you are right here with me. So how about you? And I'm gonna say this before you tell me, you've done a great job. I've seen elevation in that space. So I just leave you with that.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, appreciate that, celebrating progress. I have the propensity of, that song says it's written all over your face.
You do too. You don't have to say
you guys sing that.
Rude Boys. Rude Boys.
So, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So I'm working on that and really being present in the moment, because your face tells it all. 80% of our communication is nonverbal. So realizing that the accountability of my actions in that space is also the accountability of how I behave in my facial structure. And I'm working on that. It's not the easiest task, because anger is real, right? Emotions are real. And oftentimes God's greatest soldiers get the most. And learning to navigate, filter, and work through that is a process all by itself. But having individuals around, I say preaching, but I was speaking life into the kids yesterday, and one of the things that I dropped on them is, man, find your tribe. And then I challenge them, and we've said this before, when your tribe meets your purpose, man, the possibilities are endless. Great things are bound to happen. And I'm thankful that even in my proclivities and the things that I'm working through and working on daily, that has added value to my life, that I can live in that space. And it's because of that a lot of those things have gotten better. It's because of that a lot of those things are maturing and evolving into a positive and progressive space, man. So, yeah, indeed, man. Fatherhood, man. When it comes to mentorship when it comes to how much of your past tutelage, right? You know, when we talk about the mindset and the makeup of a man, I think it's important for us to acknowledge where we've been to move forward and progress to where we want to go. I've said before, and I stand on this, that change is initiated when change is acknowledged. There has to be an knowledge of something that is awkward, out of place, needs to be aligned. Like my shoulder was hurting. I didn't just sit there. I went to the chiropractor because I was out of line. Yeah. Right. And so much so, it went from my shoulder to my hip, and I didn't understand in my feeble mind how the two collided. I'm like, yo, doc, my hip is popping, my shoulder is popping. One has something to do with the other. He was like, yeah. And he would show me in the mirror how one shoulder was lower than the other. And over time, I'm in session 4, I'm in week 4. And it's invigorating. Like some of the same exercises that I do daily are now becoming not easier, but without as less restraint and pain, I guess you could say, or awkwardness. I use that as an analogy and based on how we present life. So for you, how much of, if at all, some of the ways that you were reared as a child are showing up now in the way that you father?
Yeah. So we don't talk about this one a lot, but other than being a man of God first, my second area that I want to achieve is being a great father. Obviously, I didn't grow up with a father in my home. Yeah. Bro, that right there, it creates an imbalance. It created an imbalance for my mom. It created an imbalance for me. And I realized it as a father, the things that I should have known that I didn't, and I had to figure out. I'm most proud, man, that with all my children, especially now because I have older children and very younger children, the father that I am now, he's light years different than when I was 19. My son asked me the other day, he said, Dad, how did you figure all this out? I said, man, I figured it out. I got around some mentors. I prayed about it. I did all the things I needed to do to evolve as a man. And I'm gonna say where I'm at right now, I'm proud of myself as a father. I'm proud of the father that understands what each individual child needs differently. I'm proud of the way I listen compared to the way I used to maybe tell them what I thought they should be doing versus really trying to figure out who they are as first of all, children, but they're humans. And they have thoughts, feelings, and concerns just like I do. So there's this respectful thing that's going on right now with my kids, and we're continually building, and I'm proud of it.
That's awesome. To be able to put those words together, I remember a time in my life where, you know, a lot of us probably can relate to this, especially 40 plus, where emotions wasn't something that was very relevant as far as expressing, unless it was anger, right? Unless we was going to throw trays, as they would say, as the young people would say now. That was acceptable. Like, yeah, go fight it out. Right now. Yeah, right now. There you go. Yeah. But crying and showing any type of emotion that would be assumed to be soft, nah, that wasn't celebrated.
Well, you really couldn't do it. Like, based on where we came from, it was a weakness, and you could get taken advantage of. You had to be on guard.
I think for me, and my biggest concern now, and how I try to reflect it now, is way beyond the good bad part of it, and understanding how it's a natural resource of us not just to tap into who we are, but how we were designed in the first place. Like how it cleans out your eye ducts, how it adds value when it comes to a sense of calmness in a space of uncertainty or hurt. Also, how anger, there's a good side of anger. It lets you know that something's wrong. Now, how you filter it, no, that's a whole nother story. Yeah. But that's my spidey sense. Right? It lets me know that there's a space of uncomfortability and an uneasiness. Now being equipped with the tools to be able to filter that and process it in a positive way is something that we didn't admire, encourage, and find value until later on in life. And that's why the work that we do with the young people is so important, because I truly believe that with that tool and learning that tool at such a young age, you'll be light years ahead of your peers. And oftentimes that light year has nothing to do with finance, and it could, but more so of you understanding who you are, right? Finding value in who you are. finding the things that make you smile, and then pouring more into that why, because that's what you'll attract, right? You become I believe that you become the magnet. So I put the things into my magnet, and then that magnet attracts.
My tribe.
My tribe. Or now my magnet is so strong, when I find one that isn't, pew, yes sir, I could easily go the other way.
You felt that force with you. Haven't you felt the magnets?
Because I poured into my own magnet first.
That's great. Yeah.
You know, so I think I'm thankful that I've gotten around people like yourself and those that find value in that space, that has allowed me to take my guard down to even find that valuable and acceptable, to be a space of growth and a platform, almost a springboard into that purpose part. And I truly believe, again, you said this before, when all of those things align, man, it's a beautiful space. There is no space of perfection, but very much so a space of evolution and possibilities. And that's the space that I live in, man. So excited about that, brother.
One thing you said that I want to go back on is you said the design, how God designed us. So you were talking about emotions and tears, and God put those in us for a specific reason. That is the space of realizing most of us, maybe let's look at the symptom of why something is happening versus the root. This is designed exactly like this, and we need to go more to that than worrying about maybe what people are going to say. All right, I'm crying right now, regardless of where I'm at, because I need to cry. And I don't care what they think, right? I care about how I feel and that I'm my best self. So I appreciate you bringing the design part up, because I hope more people realize that that's a lot for a lot of the things we go through. It's like that for a reason.
And the only reason we always refer back to the crying thing is because of the phobias and the isms and the bias that has always been provoked around, especially in our culture. You know, there's a whole lot more to it than that. Like, unpacking that box comes with a lot.
That's a big box.
It is, bro.
That's a heavy box. And each person's box is different too. So,
bro, they say moving is a job. Moving that box, boy, is a job all by itself, man. But there's a sense of freedom that comes with identifying the need and then having the audacity.
I love that word.
You know, to actually move forward in that space, man. So I really do. Again, not having it all together, but finding a space of acknowledge that that's needed. And then step by step, conversation by conversation, you know, smart comment by smart comment, journal by journal, thought by thought, you know, working towards that space, man. And I'm encouraged in that space, man. So manhood, right? That's a great segue. As a man in 2023, I believe you are getting ready to have one of those monumental G-days, right? What they say, another circle around the sun. Turning 50, like half a century, you know? So they say you on the other side of your life, right? Whatever that means, right? However you choose to look at it. I was listening to Steve Harvey, and shout out to Steve, man. We need to go down to the ranch, sir. We want to come down to Texas and talk to those kids and continue to pour out to them. We would love, all you need to say is let's, we're going to go.
We'll be there.
He was talking to Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay. Shout out to Shannon too, man. Fox, we need to be on Fox. So nonetheless, he said 4 words. Old is the goal. Old is the goal. He was talking about with the kids, and you know, we get it all the time. You hear the word OG and all that good stuff, and an assumption that you old, right? But he was thinking about it from the contents that, I do want to get old. Like, you know, and I want to do it with elegance. I want to do it with class. I want to do it with bravado. I want to do it with maturity. I want to do it with communities give backs. I want to do it with service towards others. I do look forward to getting old, maturing, you know, getting better like wine. You know, so at 50, man, what would you say? You talked about what you're most proud of as a father, but you know, when you look back in the do's, don'ts, right, wrong, and indifference, what are you most proud of with that celebratory age, reaching 50.
Yeah. I'm 26 days past. You know, I think that realizing that the pieces of my life, all of them, are coming together in this beautiful way, like a puzzle. I don't feel like there's any piece that's not in the room for me. I just haven't put them all together yet. I'm as I think about it, 50 hit a point of, I was just 18, Troy. I literally just like I was in high school. Bro, I was in high school and now I'm 50. But I fought through so much and I'm still here. And I feel like I'm the best I've ever been. And that, not everybody probably can say that.
Sure.
Life can kind of beat you down. But I've done the work, spiritually, emotionally, physically. I've surrounded myself with people like you that I know I can count on. And to me, the rest is beautiful. Blue zones. This is an area in the world where people live over 100 the most. And they say success leaves clues. So I've been really studying what they do on a daily basis to live to be 100, because that's my goal. But I don't just want to live and be laying around.
Right.
I want to be moving and shaking like we do now.
Right.
And that's possible with intention. So that's the goal.
Live a vibrant life.
Yeah, man.
I don't know the time and the space, and I think that's a great point. For those that don't know, man, I used to be bigger than big. I was fatter than fat.
There you go.
And
475.
Yeah, 470.
I'm in the big business.
I mean, just it blows your mind,
mind,
right? Like, dang, I was looking at a picture the other day, bro. And one of the most invigorating spaces in my life, right? So I'm 43. I turned 43 this year. I'll be 44 next year. Is that shift that happened around 30 to 33. Just to give context, at 31, about 13 years ago, I had gastric bypass surgery, and I turned my stomach from the size of a softball to an egg on purpose, right? I oftentimes reference myself as to be a modern day Frankenstein. The reason I bring that up, because there's still scars in my abdomen that remind me of what I chose to do in my early 30s. With that, long or the short, and where I'm going with the story, a lot came with that. A lot of decision making that I failed on and caused a lot of harm to my body, a lot of sickness. But I'll never forget getting through all that and really getting to a plateau where I had lost over 200 pounds, went from a 6X shirt to now can wear, currently I wear large, but at in the biggest shift, I had gotten down to an extra large. But I'll never forget being that large. There was only certain places that I can shop. Burlington Coat Factory, shout out to Burlington, was one of those because they had a 10 by 10 called the big and tall section. However, if it wasn't in that 10 by 10, if it wasn't, in that small corner of this big behind store, I couldn't fit it. There was never even a thought. I remember times where I had to go to 2 or 3 stores because if it wasn't in that 10 by 10, I couldn't fit it.
No pun intended, but how heavy weight was that? Not the weight itself, but carrying the knowing that I can't do things that other people can, whether it came to shopping, whether it came to when you fly.
Oh man, that was big.
Whether it came to the looks.
Yeah.
Did you unpack all of that as you've gotten smaller? Congratulations, you work out 5 days a week. I think you work out at 5 a.m. every right?
I get it every morning, man. I'm an early bird. But to your point, yes, I will say this. I was the overweight lover. I was Heavy T. Shout out to Heavy D, rest in peace. But I was Heavy T. There wasn't a shortage of confidence. What you see now in confidence is what I had then. Oh, yeah. Man, I was the overweight lover. I was a big teddy bear. But it showed up. You brought up the airplane. I'll never forget this. I used to be a merchant seaman, and I've traveled the world, man. I've gotten a chance to see some really dope places. I was taking a flight from, I want to say, San Francisco to somewhere on the other side of the pond. Don't give me the line. I know the flight was 8 hours, right? So I couldn't choose my seat. I messed around and got one of those seats that the armrests don't go up. And I was over 400 pounds. I'll never forget this, Kurt. You have to sit down in certain portions of the flight. You can't stand up forever. I used to always be embarrassed because I had to get the extension for the seatbelt because I was too fat. I raised my little hand up. Can I get the extension? Yeah, and
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, because you got to buckle your seatbelt. So, you know, if you're too fat, you got to figure it out. So they have a seatbelt extender. That was embarrassing. I did it because I had no other choice, but you know, it was embarrassing. But in this particular case, I was sitting in I was sitting in the rows, and I had to sit there for hours. Needless to say, there's portions of the flight when I could get up that I would just stand up because it hurt so bad.
Because it's cutting into you,
yeah,
right?
And when I got to your point, there was bruises on the side of me, and it was so embarrassing. It was like so overwhelming of a fact. Didn't stop me from eating.
Let me ask you.
You know what I mean? Like,
So are you telling me you had a food problem?
I still like ho-hos and yeah, man. And for me, you know what it was? I always ate the wrong thing at the wrong time. Like, I was nothing for me to wake up at midnight and just eat and be in a drive-through line. The turning point for me was my children. You know, the turning point was, okay, well, I don't know the minute nor the hour. Like, I don't know how much time I have left, but however much time I have left, I want to feel better about it. I want to live life differently. I've always been a fat kid. I was in Sears Roebuck. I was the husky kid with the cuffs because you had to get them so big and just roll them up.
I used to wonder what husky, like who wears husky, but okay.
Yeah, that was me. That should have been the husky representative, but I promise you, man. So I had to order my pants in the bottom of Sears, man, through a catalog. Yeah, that was my lifestyle. So it feels good now to be able to, I don't have to take the elevator. Like, I subconsciously park the farthest away and walk on purpose because it's innate. It's part of my lifestyle. I want to walk. I want to test myself out, and I work out with vigor.
Well, you know, one of the things I've witnessed this. I've witnessed people come to you and say, "Hey, Troy, I see your workouts." Or, "Hey, Troy, this would happen just last week. Hey, Troy, man, you look good."
Yeah.
And I see you like, you're not like, "Oh yeah, you know, you see me," but like, "Wow, I did this, and I continue to do this."
Yeah.
Hearing why you hearing your transparency, which is one of the words we talk about, but hearing you say, like, I had a reason for it. I had a why. My children. I wanted to live a full life. That's good to hear.
Yeah, and it's because, I believe it's because of, that's one aspect that helps to make the bigger picture of what we do even much more grand. Like, there was moments in the work that we're doing now that I wasn't working out. Like, I had given up on it, I had blown my knee out, and I was just like, oh man, I feel less of me, and I wasn't feeling my best. I didn't feel like I was giving my all, my 100% to the work because there was a piece that was missing, right? So again, having your tribe individuals around you that can continue not to just talk about it, but to do it, like to show reflections of that, continues to add value, right? Before, where now I'm in, you talk about 5 days a week. I do work out 5 days a week. I'm in month 19 now, like where I'm almost 2 years of being strict and disciplined.
Consistency.
And consistent, which is key. Right. That's one of our taglines, so yeah. What we got left, man?
You got wellness. We could talk about content creation and the business side of what we're building.
What are your thoughts? 2020, you know, we came up with an idea, an outlandish idea that we want to start our own TV show. Had the nerve to do it just like everyone else because it was common, inside the boxes on StreamYard. Did it a number of times, almost 50, got bored and decided to now build the team, bring individuals on that had their own gifts and talents and were in their own stages of life of production and media. And now here we are in 2024, we'll be celebrating 4 years in that space of media and content creation. You know, when you think of the journey up until now, man, what are your thoughts?
Man, excitement. Really realizing when we talk about, I talk about this all the time, limitlessness. There's no limits to what we can create, but in our mind, and then you gotta go out and create it. Yeah. But nothing brings me more joy spending time with my family, and then when we get to do something with the cameras, whether we're in front of it like this, or we're behind them now too, which is a whole another part of the journey that I don't think people really realize that we were able to pivot into that. But I'm really excited, Troy. The storytelling, the relationships we're building with new people, and I know what's coming. I can feel it. I feel it so deep down inside, and I really, as black men, as black business owners, I feel the need to do it with excellence for those coming behind us, and we're doing that.
And to your point, I personally have really fell in love with the journey and understanding that the most powerful tool we have is controlling the narrative and understanding that it's our content, the manner by which it's presented to the world needs to be palatable to the taste of how we curate it, but also being mindful of that thing you talked about, which is in the spirit of excellence. Like, how do we continue to evolve and curate a experience as well as provide content that adds value, that helps people, that gets people thinking, that allows a voice, right, for others that may sometimes not feel that they have one, because that's why we started in the first place.
That's exactly why.
You know, and once it evolved into service towards others, which is at the core and the nucleus of everything that we do.
And will be.
And will always be that. That's absolutely right. It continues to evolve and continues to skyrocket.
Well, I love that part that you bring that service part up, because one of the things you said a couple of years ago when somebody asked you where you wanted this to go and what you were most proud of, your answer was that we were able to hire other creatives to be a part of our team. And we've done that, and we paid them. All the way down to 13-year-olds. I mean, that one right there still hits me a little bit, that we have an 8th grader creative on our team filming with us.
Yeah, it's very impactful.
And we pay him versus, right?
Very impactful.
Discover the pinnacle of visual storytelling experiences with BroCo TV Productions. From the artistry of photography to the magic of videography, the world of podcast production, exclusive red carpet services, captivating MC services, inspiring speaking engagements, expert panel discussion curation, and breathtaking drone services. The Bros have you covered. Elevate your events and storytelling with us. Contact BroCo TV Productions now at 919-714-9905 and be a part of our incredible journey at www.brocotvproductions.com. We're here to make any room better